it is a huge congratulations to Chairman and Editor-in-Chief of This Day Media Group and Arise News Channel, Prince Nduka Obagbena, who has just been conferred with the award of the Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON, by President Muhammadu Buhari. Prince Obagbena joined more than 400 other notable Nigerians in Abuja who were so honored. Other recipients of the awards include the former Minister of Finance and the current Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ozekome, former Vice President of Nigeria, Architect Namadi Sambo, and Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Jane Mohammed, who bagged the second highest honor, the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, which is the GCON. Also, 54 people were decorated with the Commander of the Federal Republic, CFR. The Nigerian citizen... Sorry about that. We're joined in studio by Arise news analyst Kayode Otitoju to delve deeper. I know you had a discussion earlier on a global business report, but now we have a little bit more time to expand into the proceedings that are still going on in Abuja as we speak. What are some of your initial remarks and reactions?
All the awardees deserve it. All the awardees, at least. As you could see, people that have been investitured, there is it Okonjo-Iweala, is it Amina, is it Nduka Obagbena, is it Wole Olanipekun, everybody. So far, they have done it up to commander. Okay?
Yes.
It still remain officers.
Officers.
And members.
And members, yeah. And then Federal Republic medal as well. Let's talk a little bit about that, because that particular medal excites me, because that's where we see the two security guards and the cleaner who found big amounts of money. One found $12,000, another found $22,000. These are ordinary people who did honest and wonderful acts of honesty and kindness, and are being rewarded at the greatest platform in the nation. How do you think that will inspire other people?
It's quite inspiring, because in fact I've been following the award since about 19 years ago. That particular medalist, Federal Republic medal, was conferred on my daughter Tosin in 2004, and the people that got it with her, about 5 of them, were people that distinguished themselves, young people you think are very low. Tosin was barely 21 years of age then, okay? The cook for Mr. President got it, the medal. And when I asked for that, and when I read the CV, because when they finish, they will still give them booklet containing the names of the awardees and their CV. When I read it, I found that particular cook has served 3 head of state through president, and none of them ever got running stomach, when they eat the food. So it's a big honor, like those guys that find money and, return to the owner. These are the things that should inspire people. So, and that's why I don't believe that there is anybody out of the 447 that doesn't deserve it. Because the process of nominating, screening, compiling, and the Minister of Special Duties, Governmental Affairs, giving the final screening before they can publish, is such that there is no, if you are Oba, just know you are Oba that has maintained peace in your domain. If you are Emir, you have maintained peace in your domain. Nobody ever got it, without deserving it.
I definitely concur But of course, there are some who are skeptical regardless.
And Nigerians.
Of course. And so very interesting, of which I must say congratulations to those who have received and are in the process of receiving the awards. But some are saying that at least 60% of those who are getting this award today don't necessarily deserve it. They're wondering, what did they do? I saw that article. I found it interesting. And you're the analyst, so I had to bring it to you.
Look. Let me cut you in.
But I had to finish.
Because most of those people you think don't deserve it are people in the ministries, in the armed forces. These are people who have risen to the pinnacle of their profession.
I concur.
Yeah.
But the examples that were cited, in this interesting article I saw were, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, he was talking about his tenacity in driving industrialization. He also mentioned the Lieutenant Colonel Abu Ali, that's the commanding officer of the 272 Task Force Tank Battalion, who led the gallant troops to recapture Baga Town in Borno State, based on the whole Boko Haram situation. He mentioned those two, and we said, okay, why aren't they on this list? And what was the selection criteria? But of course, there's no hard and fast, rule. You talked about your daughter. We talked about the lady who...
the cleaners and the security guards.
Yes, so I just
the
like
selection.
I like to know your thoughts
before
on that.
you are nominated, you see that peer review or, your community. The state governors, the 36 state governors are always sent letter to send nomination. So it covers all the states. Then the Manufacturer Association will be sent letter to send people who deserve the award. The same media, the same professors or the teaching, nearly all spheres of life. So, and the procedure is such that you nominate, you send it to the Minister of Special Duties, they compile, they screen, maybe for them to have come up with 447, maybe they got up to 3,000, nominees. So at the end of the day, though I still believe there is still always Nigerian factor where maybe one or two and those are the people who always display it whenever they get it. Yeah, the people that but when you use non-parametric statistical test, you will see that actually the number that don't deserve it is statistically insignificant. Yeah.
And while we're talking about those deserving selection criteria, the screening process, this year we've seen a step away from the tradition of the former Senate president being on the recipients list and, with the omission of Bukola Saraki from the awardees today, which stirred up some conversations. There's a list that was released about a week ago, and it was noted that he wasn't on there. And of course, there was a rebuttal that was a leaked fake list. Now, of course, we're watching the process going. We've got the authentic list, and his name is still not there. What are your thoughts on the breaking of tradition of, breaking the tradition of having the Senate president being among the awardees? Former Senate president, excuse me.
To add to they even mention the name of the outgoing governor of Ekiti State, Kayode.
In the previous list. And he was a former awardee already.
Exactly. He was former awardee. And probably they made mistake of giving him the same award. Mind you, there are people who have received this award 2 times. Tony Elumelu got CON in 2012. This time around is getting CFR, which is
an upgrade.
Okay. Amina Mohammed got MON, member of the Niger, MON. In 2004, now he's getting GCON. Okay? Wole Olanipekun got CON in 2012. Today is getting CFR. So there are people who have gotten it 2 times, just like Nobel Prize. Mm-hmm. Nobel Prize, there is this Pauling, Linus Pauling, that got Nobel 2 times. He got in 1954 when he made a breakthrough in chemistry, and in 1962 when he contributed to peace, and he got peace. So he got Nobel Prize on chemistry in 1954 and got Nobel Prize on peace in 1962, just 8 years after. So it's possible to get, but it's always an improvement.
Former Senate President who has not seen it once.
Okay, if I can give you history. In 2004, there was no GCON, Grand Order of the Niger. It wasn't awarded. After Ernest Shonekan that got GCFR, the next was Commander of the Order of the Niger. So the 6 people that got GCON today, there was no award of that in 2004. So he will still get it. Some people say maybe it's not in the good book of this government. I don't believe. I don't think the president is that vindictive.
So why do you think
now,
his
I'm just
name
wondering,
is
though,
missing?
like, because you mentioned, of course, thank you, which we know,
Okay.
some people have received this recognition not once, but twice.
Yeah.
And of course, we know for a fact that there are regular Nigerians doing exceptional things out there. Do you think it might be time to expand the criteria for which we see people nominated for these awards, so that it can feel, like it's a better sense of inclusion? And I'm only saying this because of that school of thought that says, it's those who are close to the president, or it was a game of, who has deep pockets and who knows who and who. For those that are saying that the list was not as authentic as it should have been, should it be time to first see a bit of adjustment to feel like...
I'm in the same boat with you.
Okay.
Because if you look at the 447 people that are getting it today, out of that, over 200 are just on administrative, civil service, military head, custom head, and what have you. And they are getting it by just mere fact that they rose to a certain level in their profession. Not that they did something fantastic in terms of peace or in terms of security. I mean, someone that headed military, and we are having Boko Haram for almost over 7 years. And you are conferring him, with award because he was the head of military, or the Navy, that all our oil have been, significant percentage of our oil have been, it's been stolen, onshore and offshore, and you are giving them. So I still believe that actually, with pressure from the social, what do they call it, the pressure group, the
public opinion as
public opinion, there will be amendment to the criteria being used, and in such a way that it will be tilted towards excellence, like people like Dibia, what's the name, Two-Face. When you talk in terms of music, those are fantastic guys. He's one of the awardees today. Then there is one musician too that is being given an award today based on excellence. Is it Tenny? Okay. I think something like that. Yes, it's in the list. So, and the people who did very well in sport had already been given their own. Okay? They are not in the list because this list must have been compiled before they... Exactly. So, as we start getting criticism on the criteria, we will start getting better and more, Nobel Prize type of, level,
And in the same breath, we also see some foreigners recognized as friends of Nigeria acknowledged on the list. For example, Ronald Shaguri. We know the Shaguri Group has made massive investments, and various others as well. Do you think that this is also something that can be used to drive that foreign investment, that engagement that we so need desperately right now?
Actually. And the foreigners have always been included. Right from 1964, when it started, they have always been included. And though it's always negligible in terms of number, maybe 5 or 6, but those 6 will have been screened. They will have done due diligence on them and find that actually they want it, not the ones that come to dupe us. So
it's important to note that. No, very important.